Hey guys, so don't judge me. I want to talk about fasting tonight. And what brought this up was it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting back from Dallas. I had an incredible weekend. Went to a wedding with a couple of different friends, and two of my best friends got married. Super excited. Long story short, I'm over here at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm eating my Whataburger. I'm eating my dinner, and I want to talk about fasting. So it doesn't really matter if you fasted once, if you never fasted in your entire life, if you fasted 50 times, right? Whenever we fast, it means that we want to get closer to God, and we deny ourselves the things we would normally partake in, and then we substitute what we're denying with more reading, more praying, more studying, whatever is going to get us closer to God. Because the thing is if you fast with the whole goal of getting closer to God, see, it makes no sense to say you fast food for a day. Some people fast TV, some people fast their cell phones, most people fast food. But you can do whatever you like. See, if you're going breakfast, lunch, and dinner without eating, but you're not feeding yourself spiritually, then you're not fasting. All you're doing is going hungry. See, we have to substitute the food for something spiritual. Okay, so number one, whatever you're fasting, make sure to substitute whatever you're fasting with more reading, more praying, more studying, because that's what's going to get you closer to God. Okay? The second thing is, I just did the second thing. The second thing is, I'm exhausted. There was a gnat, and this is kind of what this video was inspired by. There was a gnat that was about right here floating above my food, and then he was between the light and the food, if you will. So we need to make sure not to break a fast. Now, it's so important to keep committed in our relationship with God, especially when we're doing a fast, because you better believe that the devil is going to tempt you with whatever you're fasting. Give me an example. If we are the gnat in the middle of, say, the light, we'll call it the relationship with God, the light, and then the flesh, obviously the food feeds the flesh, okay? Satan is going to tempt you with whatever you're fasting. It's just going to happen. If you're fasting food, you're going to get hungry, okay? It's just one of those things. But this gnat, he started to get closer to my food, and I was like, no, sir. This is my honey butter chicken biscuit and my burger. It ain't happening today. So I shoot him away, and he went back towards the light. This brings up another really good point, that if you guys are fasting, whether it be for the first time or the 50th time, listen, it's a lot easier to go through a fast when you have a good friend of yours that's either fasting with you or encouraging you whenever you get tempted, okay? Your friend can see you like the gnat going from the light, going from the struggle, and then you start to teeter and you start to head towards Whataburger, and he could do exactly what I did and, slap you and say, hey man, go back towards the light. Come on, you're fasting. You made this commitment. You made this commitment to get closer to God, so let's see through it. So try to have a friend do it with you if you're relatively new, or if it's your 1,000th time. It really doesn't matter. It's just always nicer to have a friend there that's going to be willing to fast with you and willing to read and willing to pray and willing to study with you. And willing to also shoo you away. But on the same token, I also could have not been the good friend, and I also could have just let the gnat go ahead and feast on my food, right? Feed his flesh over feeding his spirit, right? Light represents God. Obviously, food represents feeding the flesh. So be very careful about who you decide to surround yourself with, especially whenever you're doing a fast. So remember, the whole point of doing a fast is to get closer to God. And the only way you're going to get closer to God is not only to fast, but also make sure that you're substituting whatever you're fasting with reading. Now, here's something you may find interesting. The Bible actually commands us to fast. Did you know that? It does. If you actually look it up, I don't have my Bible, I've got food everywhere, but take a look at it. It says, when you fast, do these things, not if you fast. So the Bible, in our relationship, in our Christian walk with God, there's an understanding that there is going to be a need for sacrificing the flesh so we can get closer to God. lots of times that comes in turn of a fast. That's in my opinion, I battled with gluttony for a very long time. I was almost 300 pounds at my worst. And to make a long story short, I had a really hard time fasting. So I love you guys. I care about you guys. Encourage somebody to fast today. Fast with a friend of yours you've never fasted with before. Reach out, share God's love with somebody today, man. That's what this is about. That's why we do these Bible studies. That's why we talk. That's why we talk in Messenger. That's why we talk on comments. That's why we, this is what we do as Christians. See, in order for us to claim being a Christian, we have to stand out in the world. We can't look exactly like the rest of the world does. Otherwise, there's no separation between us and them. When I say them, I'm talking about the lost world, the world that we need to reach, the world that needs to know that God loves them. Not only needs to know that God loves them, but also God is He's a God of obedience as well. Did you know that God said that if you love me, you will obey my commandments? Well, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. We always say we love God, but do we obey his commandments? See, our version of love may be just words, but God's version of love is action. Well, I'm getting into a whole different story, but I love you guys. Don't forget, even if you're at your lowest low, even if you made mistakes, I've been there before. Guys, you can turn around right now. God loves you. God cares about you. And yeah, next time you think about fasting, think about this gnat. Be a good friend and encourage somebody through a fast. And if you're the one fasting, seek out somebody who is good and spiritually sound and say, hey man, I need some help. Can I have an accountability partner? You never know what kind of incredible relationships you can create through that. And don't forget, last thing, that if you're fasting, make sure to substitute whatever you are not partaking of into worshiping, reading, and praying during those times. God bless you guys. You have an incredible evening. I will see you guys every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for a Bible study. Y'all be good. And don't forget to invite somebody. That's what this whole thing's about. See y'all later.